Hello, everyone. We're back. If you're listening in the present as this podcast gets released, you will know that I missed last week's episode. And to be completely honest with you, I don't have any excuse or reason why I didn't do it. I just forgot. I just completely forgot that I do a podcast every Wednesday. So I've made amends there. I'm doing a podcast now. I could do another podcast to catch up, but I figure let's just forget about that week. We'll just call it like long service leave or something. But if you're listening a year or 10 years into the future, I could have just said nothing and you'd be none the wiser. But yeah, I missed last week's episode. I was really busy and yeah, I honestly just forgot to do it. So I think we're like 30 something episodes into this series now. I still don't have an intro, don't have any music. I don't really have a thing. You know, most podcasts have like a thing that they have. I don't. I just talk. I just extract thoughts from my head, put them into a microphone, and then hope people listen. But what's going on in my life? Let's talk about an update. Well, business is good. I think I talked about in the last episode that we were having issues with staff because we'd grown the business enhanced cleaning to about 32 or 33 people. And yeah, we had some quality control issues because things got away from us. I had to fire 3 people in a week. I think we lost 7 people in the whole month of August. So it's September now. We lost 7 people in the whole month. And you might think that that sounds really bad. You would think about that as being a massive hit to the business. And, you know, while it's not good, we actually ended up just being the same as we were when we went into that month. So you'd think if you lost 7 staff in 1 month, you would be seriously behind. You would lost a lot of money. But we looked at the numbers because we track everything in the business, and we're actually just the same as when we started August, as when we ended it. So we haven't made any progress, but we also haven't gone backwards, which is good. And in doing that, you know, you can say that just because you've maintained and you haven't grown, then you've made no progress. But the progress we made was diluting our team down and weeding out the bad individuals and the people who don't do great work and aren't really committed. So we did make progress. We just didn't make progress from a statistical or a financial standpoint. But that's one way you need to flip the coin and kind of look at it. You know, you can have that perspective and that mindset where it's like, I didn't make more money this month, or I made less money this month than last month, but you're not looking at the other metrics of the business where you've improved. So we've improved our team, the quality of the team. We have a few less staff now. I think we had 33, now we have 30, but we're still doing the same output because we've got these other people that we've got on board. They do more work than the other people that we lost. So we've got less team members, but we're doing the same amount of work. We're putting out the same output, which is really good. And so since then, we haven't had any issues. I think I said we had a lot of issues with quality control. We had some complaints, quite a lot of complaints. We lost customers and yeah, it wasn't good. But since we did that, we called an emergency team meeting. Stacey and I spoke to the entire team. We all had them inside one room, spoke to them. It's kind of like good cop, bad cop situation. It was pretty interesting. But yeah, since then, we haven't had any problems. People are calling in sick less. People are doing great work consistently. And it hasn't just been a situation where we've just barked some orders at the team and told them we want them to do better and nothing else. We have to take it upon ourselves that these people are under our command. So, you know, and they're under our guidance. So we have to take accountability and responsibility for the fact that if our team members aren't doing great work, that's on us as the team leaders. So Stacey and I, we came up with some ideas. We brought some new strategies in. And 2 things that we've started doing, which I've been wanting to do for a while, but this has been kind of the turning point for us, is that we're now doing an Employee of the Week challenge or award. And we're also doing a monthly before and after challenge, which is the really exciting part. So yeah, every week we just give away a $100 Visa gift card to someone who's done really well, someone who's stepped up to the plate, someone who's helped someone who's gotten really good feedback from a client, you know, whatever it may be. And basically the criteria for that is just to do something along those lines and not call in sick or not have any complaints during that week, and you're eligible to win that $100 gift card. So that's one thing that's incentivizing people to just stay on their toes and do better work and be more committed. But then the monthly before and after challenge that we're doing is the really cool thing. So Inside Slack, which is our communications platform for talking to staff and putting out announcements and stuff, I've opened up a new channel, a new text channel, and it's called Before and Afters. And in there, I put an announcement that reads, and I'll read it right now actually. I just have to scroll up. I said, "Hi everyone, this channel will be used as part of our monthly before and after challenge. From now on, at any house you clean, take a picture of something dirty or dusty that you think you can transform and post the before and after photos in here. These transformations can be big or small. It doesn't have to be a huge shower screen or a really dirty kitchen. It can be as simple as a dirty windowsill or some gunk around the base of a tap. We'll be judging based on attention to detail, so your ability to spot small areas will be just as valuable. Please ensure pictures are high quality." And it says, at the end of every month, Stacey and I will select one person to win a $250 gift card based on the best transformation. And now that's doing a lot of things. Obviously, it's something that people can do and they can enjoy, and it's competition, but it's friendly competition. People aren't stepping on each other's toes and getting angry if they lose and all this stuff. It's fun. It's gamifying their work and the business. But on a deeper level, it's actually solving a problem that we had, and it's really covering some of the cracks in the business that we had before. So one of the problems was that we rotate cleaners around pretty frequently, and we noticed that some cleaners will go in after another cleaner and have to pick up on the slack from the previous worker because they're not pulling their weight as much as they should be. And so what this before and after challenge is doing is, some of the rules I put in this. So I said how to format your post. Post a before picture, after picture, name of the client and service address, and description of the clean. Example, fortnightly clean, before and after of kitchen sink, blah, blah, blah. So what that's doing is a cleaner might go into a house that has a really dirty windowsill in a bedroom, and they'll post the before and after in that chat with the client's name and the client's address. And obviously only our staff can see that. No one else can see that. And the previous cleaner who was on that house the week before or the fortnight before is going to see that and be like, "Oh no, that's my usual regular clean and I've missed that." And they're going to see that. And then it's going to be even worse if that before and after ends up winning the monthly challenge, because they're going to know like, "Oh, that was my client. That was the client I cleaned for over and over again. And I missed that in every single clean." So it's now getting people to pick up their slack because they don't want to be the subject of a before and after. They don't want to see something in that chat where it's a cleaner that has gone into one of the houses that they usually do and has had to pick up on what they've missed. And so that's why we've started this challenge. It's one of the big reasons. It's also just fun. It's getting us a lot of social content. So it's really knocking out like a dozen birds with one stone. So we're going to get great social content. We're going to get better work done, more efficient work. It's going to incentivize people to really be vigilant when they're cleaning, which is something that we didn't really have before. And we didn't have a way that we could really control that. And it was getting tough. So it's going really well so far. We've had, I think, 15 entries since we started this. And we only started this about 10 days ago. So 15 entries in 10 days, really getting the team involved. Everyone's loving it. It's a lot of fun. People are reacting to each other's before and afters. Someone posted a before and after just yesterday, and two people replied and they were like, "Wow, well done." Heart emojis, clapping emojis. So everyone's really loving it. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, from a business standpoint, it's actually really good for us as well. Because like I said, with that quality control issue, we're knocking out a few birds with the one stone there. And so, that's what we've kind of changed in the business. Very small changes, but as I say, small hinges swing big doors. So this little challenge that we've implemented is a small hinge that's swinging the bigger door of quality control issues, right? We've had a big problem and we've solved it with very, very minor changes. We had the team meeting, we culled the team a little bit and just replaced them, and we've implemented this challenge and the weekly employee of the week thing. So very, very small changes, big effect, right? And I suppose that's the thing I'm trying to get at in this episode, is that a lot of the time in business, we have these big problems that hang over our heads and they keep us up at night and we can't stop thinking about it. And we really, really tend to overthink the solutions to these problems. A lot of the time, we don't need a big solution to a big problem. It's often a very, very minor fix. And so next time you have something that pops up in the business where you just don't know what to do and you think that it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of work to patch up a crack or solve a problem, just step back for a little bit, maybe think outside the box slightly and just start to take baby steps towards a solution. Because you will be surprised especially in the case of mine with this quality control issue that we had, the solution can oftentimes be really, really simple. It can be really mundane. And the solution can also push you in a new direction, which is really good for the business. So we've really strengthened our culture in the last couple of weeks just by doing these little things. And that's going to have a big snowball effect later on. And it's really what's going to propel us into the later stages of the business. And, when you grow a team past 30 people, you can quickly lose control of culture and quality. And so we need these things in place before we can think about doing that. And we've now done that, and we're constantly thinking about how we can improve it. But, it's opened my mind to a lot of new things that I want to play around with. And that's another thing we need to do as well as business owners. We need to constantly try new things, experiment. If you have an idea, put it into action and just see what it does. Especially in marketing, if you've got ideas for headlines and ad creatives, if you want to try a new Facebook ad and you've got no experience in doing Facebook ads and you're scared and you're overthinking it, just do it and see what happens. Be reactive. It's not bad to be reactive sometimes. I used to do this a lot when I started, and that's typically the case for a lot of people, is that when you start, this is when you're the most reactive and it's when you're trying the most things. But then once you find a bit of success, a lot of people just taper off that. They stop the experimenting and they stop trying to test new things and bring new life into the business. And that's the complete opposite of what you want to be doing. If you stop doing new things, you quickly become old and you will be phased out of your own business, right? It's not as important for cleaners to worry about this stuff, but if you want to build a real business, if you want to take on the bigger guys in your industry and you want to have an empire, you need to be doing this stuff. If you want to be able to take yourself out of the business one day, you need to be comfortable with trying new things and testing ideas and having ideas, because the ideas are what really propel us forward. So next time you have an idea, don't think twice about it. Just put it into action, put it into the business. It could be marketing. It could be a system to do with people. It could be trying a new product. Maybe you've been thinking about trying a new product, but you just haven't done it. And you're thinking about, oh, well, I have to roll this out to all my staff, or, I don't know if this is going to work, or I don't know if I should be doing this. Just do it. And then once you've used it or once you've done the thing, see what the result was, see what the effect was, and then you can play reactive. Based on what has happened, you can change your game plan a little bit. So if you put out an ad and if you use a certain headline or a certain image or use a certain video and it comes back negative, you can dissect that and be like, okay, this didn't work. Let's have a look at why, and then change it. And on the flip side, if it does really well, then you're like, okay, great. I've now got a new creative which is performing well. Let's see how we can optimize this and scale this. And that can become a new marketing asset, because we want to keep building assets in the business in all areas of it. So in marketing, I've got lots of marketing assets. And when I say asset, I just mean it's usually a system, right? So I've got a marketing asset for Facebook ads. If I ever need to turn on Facebook ads, I've got the assets, I've got the creatives, the images, the videos. I can turn that on whenever I need. And that's what really brings value to a business. If someone on the outside wants to buy your business, they're going to be looking at things like this. And it doesn't have to just be marketing. It can be things like what we're talking about now with systems. Like, you've got a system for a monthly challenge that all your cleaners do. That's a system. That is an asset that is in the business. That is like your own IP, your intellectual property. So let's just create. Same thing with content. I'm always telling people just to try new things. If you have an idea for content, just do it, film it, get it out of the way, and then see what happens, because you never know. A lot of people have ideas that are great, but they don't think they're so amazing. I remember a story. There was this hip hop artist a few years back who he released a song and it went number one, and it was like song of the summer. It was number one for weeks and weeks, maybe months. And I remember watching an interview with him, and he said that song was recorded a couple years earlier, but it was just stored in the vault because he didn't think it was a very good song. And then one day that song leaked. So someone from outside their clique or their studio or the label had found that song, leaked it out into the world, and then the label saw that it leaked and they were like, well, let's just release it now. And that song went number one. So it just goes to show that, sometimes we have things in our mind or at our disposal and at our fingertips that if we just push it out there, it can actually have a really, really great effect and it can do great things for us. But we just don't see that in ourselves. It's like if you listen to the podcast I did with Stacey, she never thought she could have been a manager. She never saw that in herself, but I saw that in her. So I took that and I put her in a role where I knew she would flourish even if she didn't think she would. And then, history shows you that she was really great in that role. And now she has that confidence because hindsight is 2020. And she's like, well, now I know I can do it. But back then I had no idea. So, a lot of the time when we have these ideas, we just need to take action because inaction is the biggest killer of any success. If you just do the thing, if you just get it done, if you get it out there, you will achieve great things. Gary Vee, he says, post every single day for like a year. And no matter who you are, no matter what content you're posting, whether it's good or bad, you will get results if you just post every day for a year. You don't even have to think about what you're posting, just post. And that's the key there. You just have to do the thing. It's not about what you're doing. It's not about the quality of what you're doing. It's just about action. And that's something I'm a big, big proponent for. So yeah, I've now got to pack all my stuff. I'm in Perth at the moment, but I'm heading down to Bunbury, which is a 2-hour drive south. I'm going to catch up with Stacey and meet a lot of the new team members because we've hired like 6 or 7 new people in the last 30 days. And yeah, meet some people, check in on some new job sites because we just landed a big, I call it a whale. We landed another $100 and something thousand a year industrial cleaning client, which is like this big, I think it's a steel fabrication company. So we're going to be cleaning that almost every day, every week. That's going to be really good. And funny story about that is we had an awards night. So we got nominated for Business of the Year. And before we went to that awards night, I looked at all the finalists for each different category. And there was a finalist in the category of up to 100 employees. And it was this company that we just won the contract for. And I remember saying to Stacey, because we've wanted this client for a long time, I said, these guys are going to be at the awards night. Let's go talk to them. And even if, I spent $2,000 on a table for our team to be at that events night. I said, even if we don't win, even if nothing happens, I just want to get a quote with this company, this finalist that's in another category. Let's just talk to them. And if we can get a quote, this night will have been worth it. That $2,000 I spent getting us a table there will have been worth it. And sure enough, Stacey, after dancing and drinking all night, went over with me to their section in the private restaurant there. And she had one of her high heels had snapped off. So she had one high heel on and the other foot was just, she didn't have shoes on. So she was like half barefoot, half not. And we went over to this really big company, all the people there, the general manager, the receptionist, some of their staff. And we just got talking. We just built rapport. We just talked to them and we said, we didn't even really try to sell on them. We just had a conversation with them. And then we eventually moved into cleaning because they asked us about obviously what we do because they knew that we were the only cleaning company there that was nominated for Business of the Year. And we just had a conversation that led into what we wanted to sell them. And then, we were like, we touched on some pain points. We asked them some questions because we know they have contractors at the moment. They said they weren't happy with their current cleaners. And then that obviously just gives us the free pass to then be like, oh, well, what are you not happy with at the moment? And then we talk about that. And that just led to us getting a quote with them. So Stacey went out and did the quote, did the site visit. We then met up the day after. We brainstormed a quote. We sent off some quotes to the company. And then they had a meeting with their board, came back to us and said, let's go ahead. So we went into that awards night with a plan. We were not there to win an award. We were there to win a client. Obviously, an award would have been nice, but we didn't win. But we won over $100,000 in that new client. So who's the real winner? And sometimes you just need a plan. That's all you need. And, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I figure that sounds like really, really ignorant or arrogant, is that we got invited to an awards night, this prestigious awards night, and we didn't win. And I'm calling that life giving me lemons because I didn't win a little trophy. That sounds really entitled and stuck up of me, but you get what I mean. So sometimes you just need a plan. We had a plan. We went in there with that plan in mind. We executed and it turned out really well for us. So yeah, things are looking really good for us as always. And I hope wherever you are, whoever you are listening to this, I hope things are looking good for you. And just remember, if they're not, you can change that. The only person who has the power to change your current situation is yourself. No matter what you're doing, no matter who you are, and no matter what history you've had, you can always be the catalyst for your own change and your own transformation. So I think I've been talking long enough. I'm going to go pack my bags and get ready to go back to Bunbury and check in on the business, check in on my baby. And yeah, I will talk to you next time. And I won't forget to do another episode. So I'm going to keep doing the weekly episodes. I was really good for a long time. I had not missed any. And then I just forgot one week. So I'm back on the horse. Let's get these weekly episodes pumping out. And I hear what you're saying. You want the longer episodes? I'm going to give you the longer episodes. I would have actually done a longer one today, but it's 6 p.m. right now and I need to be gone by 7, right? So I'm pretty flat out at the moment, but we're going to get there. And stay tuned because I'm going to interview some exciting people soon. I've got, fortunately, due to my presence in the online community, I've got a lot of cool connections with a lot of big names in the cleaning world and celebrities now even. So I'm going to try to get some well-known people on here to talk about cleaning, and that'll be really exciting because we are now the biggest cleaning podcast in Australia, the biggest cleaning business podcast in Australia, which is really cool. I think we're at over 10,000 downloads now. I don't really check statistics because I don't want to get disappointed. And if I see that it's doing well, then I'm just like, oh, well, it's doing well. That's what I'm doing it for because I want it to do well. But if I see it's not doing well, I'll just be disappointed and that's not good. So I don't look at the numbers on the podcast, but you need to know the numbers in business. That's what I tell people. But anyway, thanks for listening to another episode of Self-Made, and I'll see you in the next one.